When someone says Kel-Tec at a gun store, watch what happens. The employee either smiles politely and points you towards something else, or says, "Those are interesting guns," in the tone people use when they are being diplomatic about something they do not actually respect. That reaction has followed Kel-Tec for 20 years, and in 2026, it is categorically, documentably, testably wrong. The guns coming out of the Cocoa, Florida factory right now, they are significantly better than the reputation they are still carrying from 15 years ago. The gap between perception and reality is wider than almost any other manufacturer in American production. 5 Kel-Tec pistols, all current production, all verified for 2026. Everyone evaluated honestly without gun store bias and without the 15-year-old reputation that has nothing to do with what Kel-Tec is actually building today. The results are genuinely surprising. Subscribe before we start. Honest rankings drop every single week. A brief, honest history of Kel-Tec. Before we rank the pistols, it is worth understanding exactly why Kel-Tec has the reputation it carries and why that reputation is no longer accurate. George Kellgren founded Kel-Tec in 1991 in Cocoa, Florida. Kellgren is a Swedish engineer with a background at Husqvarna and Intratec, who brought a genuine engineering-first philosophy to American firearms design. The company has operated as a privately held manufacturer since founding and has never been acquired, merged, or compromised by the cost-cutting pressures that have affected other manufacturers through private equity ownership changes. The early reputation issues were real. Early P11 and P32 production had documented quality control inconsistencies that created legitimate reliability concerns among early buyers. Those concerns spread through gun store culture and online forums at exactly the moment the internet was becoming the primary way American gun buyers formed opinions. The reputation calcified before the quality issues were resolved. Current production Kel-Tec pistols are manufactured to significantly tighter tolerances than early production. The company has invested in CNC machining upgrades that have addressed the consistency issues documented in early production. Independent reliability testing of current production pistols consistently shows results that contradict the reputation the brand still carries. That is the context. Now, let us rank the pistols. Number 5. Kel-Tec P17. The P17 is the most overlooked budget rimfire pistol in American production, and the gun that makes the strongest case for taking Kel-Tec seriously in 2026. At $199 to $229, the P17 delivers 16+1 capacity in a full-size polymer frame with a fiber optic front sight, an optics rail, and a trigger that independent reviewers consistently rate above the Ruger Mark IV standard at a price point $200 to $300 lower. The threaded barrel on the threaded variant makes it one of the most affordable suppressor-ready rimfire pistols in current production. The 22 LR chambering delivers the lowest ammunition cost of any pistol in this ranking at 5 cents to 8 cents per round in 2026. A shooter running 500 rounds per month through the P17 spends approximately $25 to $40 on ammunition. That trigger time compounds across months of training into genuine skill development that a more expensive centerfire pistol would price most budget-conscious shooters out of entirely. The honest limitations are the platform-specific ones that apply to all rimfire semi-automatics. Ammunition sensitivity is real. The P17 runs reliably with quality 22 LR ammunition and shows the same feeding inconsistencies with cheap bulk rimfire that affect every semi-automatic rimfire pistol at any price. Holsters support Trail's centerfire platform significantly, but at $199 to $229 with 16+1 capacity and a trigger that outperforms more expensive competitors, the P17 makes a legitimate case as the finest budget rimfire training pistol in American production. Specs: caliber 22, LAR capacity 16+1, barrel 3.77 inches, weight 14.6 ounces, optics, rail standard, price $199 to $229. The verdict: 16 rounds of 22 LR at $199, fiber optic sights, optics rail, and a trigger that beats more expensive rimfire competitors. The most affordable serious training pistol in current American production. Number 4. Kel-Tec CP33. The CP33 is the pistol that demonstrates most clearly why dismissing Kel-Tec on reputation alone is a mistake in 2026. 33 rounds of 22 LR in a single flush-fit magazine. That number is not a misprint. The CP33 uses a quad-stack magazine design that George Kellgren engineered specifically to achieve the highest possible capacity in a .22 LR pistol without enlarging the grip to an impractical size. The result is a magazine that holds 33 rounds in a grip that most shooters with average hand sizes can wrap their fingers around completely. The engineering behind the CP33 magazine is genuinely impressive and has no equivalent in current production from any other manufacturer. Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, and every other rimfire pistol manufacturer produces standard or extended magazines that top out well below what the CP33 delivers as a standard flush-fit configuration. The 5.5-inch threaded barrel ships standard, making the CP33 the most capable factory. Suppressor-ready .22 LR pistol in production. The optics rail accepts red dots, and the low-bore axis produces flat shooting characteristics that competition shooters have documented through USPSA and Steel Challenge results since the platform launched. The trigger is the honest limitation. The CP33 trigger runs at approximately 5 to 6 pounds, with a take-up that experienced shooters immediately identify as the platform's weakest component. Aftermarket improvement options are limited compared to more established rimfire platforms. The trigger is functional and manageable, but it is not the standout feature of this pistol, the way the capacity and the suppressor-ready configuration are. At $475 to $525, the CP33 is not inexpensive for a .22 LR pistol. Every dollar of the premium is in the 33-round magazine engineering and the factory suppressor-ready configuration. For a competition shooter or suppressor host buyer, there is simply no equivalent available at any price. Specs: caliber, .22, LR, capacity, 33+1, barrel, 5.5 inches threaded, weight, 24 ounces, optics, rail standard, price, $475 to $525. The verdict: 33 rounds flush fit. Threaded barrel standard, no competitor produces anything approaching this capacity in a .22 LR pistol at any price. The CP33 earns its place through engineering that the rest of the industry has not attempted to match. Number 3. Kel-Tec PMR30. The PMR30 is the pistol that no other American manufacturer has been willing to build, and the platform that most clearly illustrates why Kel-Tec occupies a genuine and irreplaceable market position. .22 Winchester Magnum rimfire produces significantly more velocity and energy than standard .22 LR from a handgun barrel. The PMR30 delivers approximately 1,200 to 1,400 feet per second with standard 40-grain .22 WMR ammunition from its 4.3-inch barrel. That velocity produces terminal performance characteristics that .22 LR cannot match, and that approach the lower end of centerfire defensive cartridges in specific load configurations. 30 rounds in a flush-fit magazine. 13.6 ounces unloaded. That combination of capacity, caliber, and weight has no equivalent in current production from any manufacturer worldwide. The PMR30 is not competing with other pistols in its category. It is the only pistol in its category. The fiber optic sights are excellent. The trigger breaks at approximately 4 pounds and is among the finest factory triggers Kel-Tec currently produces. The lightweight at 13.6 ounces makes the PMR30 one of the most comfortable all-day carry options in the Kel-Tec lineup for outdoor and trail applications. The honest limitations are real and worth stating clearly. .22 ammunition costs significantly more than .22 LR at 20 cents to 35 cents per round in 2026 and is less universally available. The rimfire cartridge produces occasional reliability inconsistencies with certain ammunition brands that centerfire platforms do not experience. For a defensive carry pistol in an urban environment, the .22 WMR cartridge is a debatable choice compared to established centerfire defensive calibers. For outdoor carry, trail protection, pest control, and recreational shooting, the PMR30 is the most uniquely capable pistol in the Kel-Tec lineup, and the one most likely to surprise shooters who evaluate it without bias. Specs: caliber, .22 WMR, capacity 30+1, barrel 4.3 inches, weight 13.6 ounces, sights fiber optic front and rear, price $449 to $499. The verdict: 30 rounds of .22 WMR in 13.6 ounces. No competitor produces anything comparable at any price. The PMR30 occupies a market position that Kel-Tec created and still owns entirely in 2026. Number 2. Kel-Tec P15. The P15 is the Kel-Tec pistol that belongs in the mainstream carry conversation, and the one that most clearly demonstrates how wrong the current reputation is relative to current production quality. 0.95 inches wide, 15+1 capacity, 14 ounces unloaded. Those three numbers in combination represent a genuine engineering achievement that no other manufacturer has matched in a double-stack 9mm carry pistol in current production. The P15 is the thinnest double-stack 9mm pistol available in 2026, and it delivers full 15-round standard capacity at a weight that makes most micro-compacts feel heavy by comparison. The P15 uses a double-stack single-feed magazine design that achieves the 0.95-inch width by tapering the magazine toward the feed ramp, an engineering solution that required significant development investment and that competing manufacturers have not replicated. The result is a carry package that conceals under clothing that would print any competing double-stack 9mm, and that weighs less than most single-stack alternatives in the same caliber. The trigger is the meaningful improvement over earlier Kel-Tec generations. The P15 trigger breaks at approximately 5 to 5.5 pounds with a reset that experienced carry shooters describe as competitive with standard Glock triggers in the same price range. It is not the standout feature of the platform, but it is no longer the liability that early Kel-Tec triggers were documented to be. Optics Ready Slide accepts compact red dot footprints. The grip texture is adequate for carry use and aggressive enough to maintain hand position under recoil. The fiber optic front sight provides good target acquisition under standard lighting conditions. At $425 to $475, the P15 is priced fairly for what it delivers. The aftermarket is developing, but has not reached the depth of established carry platforms. Holster selection has improved significantly in 2025 and 2026, with major makers now producing P15-specific options. The honest limitation is that the P15 is a relatively new platform with a shorter documented reliability track record than competing pistols at the same price point. Current production reliability data is positive across multiple independent evaluations. The long-term track record is still being established. Specs: caliber 9mm, capacity 15+1, barrel 3.77 inches, width 0.95 inches, weight 14 ounces, optics, direct mount, price $425 to $475. The verdict: the thinnest double-stack 9mm carry pistol in current production. 15 rounds, 14 ounces, 0.95 inches wide. No competitor has matched this combination. The P15 is the carry pistol that makes the Kel-Tec reputation argument impossible to sustain for anyone who actually shoots it. Number 1. Kel-Tec P50. The number 1 Kel-Tec pistol in 2026 is the platform that most dramatically proves why the reputation no longer reflects reality, and the one that no other manufacturer on Earth has had the engineering ambition to attempt. The Kel-Tec P50 is a 50-round capacity pistol chambered in 5.7 by 28mm that feeds from FNP 90 magazines mounted horizontally above the bore axis. That sentence requires a moment to absorb because there is nothing else in civilian legal production that approaches what it describes. 50 rounds of 5.7 by 28mm in a pistol from a standard flush fit configuration with a 9.6-inch barrel. At 2.7 pounds unloaded, the 5.7 by 28mm cartridge was developed by F.N. Herstall for the P90 personal defense weapon and the 5.7 pistol. It produces approximately 1,700 to 2,000 feet per second from a handgun barrel with standard SS-197SR ammunition, generating velocity and energy figures that standard 9mm loads cannot approach. The cartridge is used by law enforcement and military units across 40 countries in the P90 configuration. The P50 makes that cartridge and those 50-round P90 magazines available in a civilian legal pistol configuration that weighs less than most loaded full-size 9mm pistols. The engineering required to make 50 rounds of 5.7 by 28mm function reliably in a pistol configuration is considerable. The horizontal magazine sits above the bore axis and requires the feeding mechanism to rotate each round 90 degrees before chambering. This is the same feeding geometry that makes the P90 controversial among armorers who prefer conventional feeding systems. Kel-Tec solved it through a patented feeding mechanism that independent reviewers have documented functioning reliably across multiple 500-round evaluations without modification. The optics rail across the top of the pistol accepts full-size red dots in a configuration that takes advantage of the P50's unusual geometry to provide a more stable optics mounting platform than most pistol rail systems. The trigger breaks at approximately 5 pounds with a consistent pull that reflects the improvement in Kel-Tec trigger quality across their current production lineup. At $995 to $1,099, the P50 is the most expensive Kel-Tec pistol in current production. The 5.7 by 28mm ammunition cost is the honest limitation at 40 cents to 65 cents per round for practice loads and $1 to $1.50 for defensive loads. For a shooter who can manage the ammunition cost, the P50 delivers a capability profile that exists nowhere else in civilian legal pistol production at any price. 50 rounds. 5.7 by 28mm velocity, FNP 90 magazine compatibility, a feeding mechanism that works, a trigger that no longer reflects the old Kel-Tec reputation, a pistol that George Kelgren designed because nobody else was willing to try. That is what number 1 looks like when the results are genuinely surprising. Specs: caliber 5.7 by 28mm, capacity 50 rounds, barrel 9.6 inches, weight 2.7 pounds unloaded, optics full-length top rail, price $995 to $1,099. The verdict: number 1, 50 rounds of 5.7 by 28mm in a civilian legal pistol configuration that no other manufacturer has attempted at any price. The P50 is the most uniquely capable pistol in the Kel-Tec lineup, and the clearest possible proof that the reputation no longer reflects the reality of what this company is building in 2026. 5 Kel-Tec pistols. Every one of them is doing something no direct competitor does as completely. Every one of them carries a reputation built 15 years ago that no longer reflects what is coming out of the Cocoa, Florida factory in 2026. The firearms industry runs on reputation. Reputations take years to build and decades to change, even when the underlying reality has shifted completely. Kel-Tec is the clearest example of that gap in American firearms production right now. The guns are better than the reputation suggests, significantly better in specific cases, and the carriers and shooters who evaluate current production without the weight of 15-year-old forum posts are discovering that the results are genuinely surprising. That is the most honest thing this channel can tell you about Kel-Tec in 2026. Forget everything you thought you knew. Shoot what they are actually building, then form your opinion. If this video gave you a reason to look at Kel-Tec differently, hit the like button and subscribe for more honest firearms content. Drop your experience with Kel-Tec in the comments. Whether you are a long-term owner or someone who has never considered the brand, that conversation is more valuable than anything on this channel. As always, thank you for watching and for being a responsible gun owner.